My friend Ed Osborne, and we've been talking about this for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And I'd mentioned to Ed about an old campaign that was done, War on Drugs, with Nancy Reagan when Ronald Reagan was the president. And I told him of that phone number, very easy to remember, 888-1800, 888-1800. Alvin, if you can, pick up my poster for me for a minute. And what I want to do is, Ed and I talked, and Ed designed this poster, emailed it to me, and I said, man, that's great, let's go to work on the project. And what the project simply is, that from where we sat, something we can do immediately, is to try to raise money. Ed's put up money, I put up money, Sammy Congo's put up money. Now Reverend Carey is making a donation. I'm going to ask other clergy, Reverend Beeman, others, my church and others, to join us. And we're going to put up billboards. That's going to be the billboard all over town. You'll be seeing it shortly. And these billboards are to encourage city residents. Everybody says the police can't do it by themselves. Mayor Dennis P. Williams can't do it by himself. It's going to take the help of the community. And God knows I believe that deep down in the pit of my heart. So the bottom line is, let's do something about it then. And Ed and I talked, and here we go. We've contacted Clear Channel. Ed touched base with them and told them of our campaign and asked for billboards that we could grab right quick over the next week to 10 days if we can get the money in. The money's in, and the position is that we even put up other money to make sure it was covered. And some of the donations will help cover that. And what I hope donations will help do is take this campaign beyond the 30 days that these billboards will be up. And we're doing this to ask the citizens of Wilmington to please respectfully get involved. Don't put yourself in harm's way, but get involved. If you see something, call it in. If you see something on the street that looks to be a drug deal going down, whatever it may be, someone up in each other's face, really getting loud, bunch of folks standing around on a corner that could be a drug corner, that could lead to someone getting shot. Going on by, get your cell phone when you're safely out of the area, but pull over and hit 911. You may be saving some young man's life. Maybe even a relative of yours that's there in the tussle or the fuss, and or it may even be just a relative, loved one, or neighbor of yours that just happens to be walking by and catch one of those stray bullets. My friends, we must get involved and do more. And I realize as we talked about it, and I'll be talking with Reverend Beeman, I'd like to have an audience with IMAC. I'm going to call some meetings myself with some of the clergy and others, the community leaders, because we need to strategize and have ideas of ways in which we can help turn the corner on this problem. And I honestly feel that this billboard campaign is one of those. And we're going to be concerned about the safety of those that are calling in. We're going to be talking with the police department, the mayor, and Chief Dunning to ensure, echo every day, each shift, be reminded, put up a sign where they change shifts or report. Do not go to a caller's home. Don't go knocking on the door seeking additional information. It's said over the years that they're not supposed to do it, but sometimes an officer does it, and there it is. It creates an identity problem on the person that made that call. And those folks are standing around, friends are standing around, and that puts the person's house that they went to in harm's way. A brick through the window, shooting through the windows, whatever, to try to make them back off and give them a warning, don't ever do that again. In my office, in both offices, in Newcastle, Crossroads Shopping Plaza, and in Southbridge down on 435 South Hill Street, I have a blowed up picture, very large, of an article that I got out of the Baltimore Times, I think it was, years ago. And it's an article I happened to hear him talking about on WDAS radio one Sunday morning, where this lady had 5 or 6 children. She and her husband lived in an area where the drug dealers were taking over. And she kept trying to talk to them, and old lady, mind your business and leave it alone. And they kept telling her, don't get involved. This is our turf. Mind your business. And the senior citizen called the cops 2 or 3 times to try to get them to disperse. And they felt it was her. And I don't know about a cop going to her house. They felt she had done it. And late at night, while the family was sleeping, they firebombed that house and burned everybody in the family up. Every member of the household died in that fire. That's the kind of retaliation that happens sometimes. This was in Baltimore, going back a good 12, 15 years ago. So that's what happens to people when they try. And it has folks frightened to want to get involved. But there are ways that we can work through that. And folks, some of us have to gain the courage to pick up the phone and try to be helpful and hopefully prevent an incident of a shooting, an innocent person, or someone directly that they were shooting at that may end up with a loss of life. So that's what this campaign is to do. And as Pastor Carey said this morning on his 10 o'clock church service program at the tail end, said he supported this campaign. He was donating to it. He supported the effort, and that we were going to be working together, and I like what he said. He said, if this will help save one life, then it's worth it. Then it's worth it. And I'm hoping that it will help save many. Okay, I want to share also that I pulled this meeting together after calling Reverend Carey on Tuesday morning. Some of you probably wonder why you were not involved as leadership or you didn't get a call. We did an email blast to clergy and everyone whose email that we had to get the word out. But the bottom line was my being fit up, wanting to do something and get some movement going on among our leadership and say, hey guys, here's one way, if you agree with me, we can do something. And let's start dialoguing and trying to see what can we do together? What can we do as individuals? What can we do uniting as one to address this problem of all these shootings and murders taking place in our community? So I just wanted to light the fuse and get the community thinking about it and get the residents thinking about the importance of making a call, building the courage to make a call. And that's what this poster billboard campaign is all about. That's what it is. And if you will join in and find the courage to be helpful from a safe distance, and we find other ways and means to address this problem in our community, taking input from young and old alike, black and white, it doesn't matter, listening to suggestions and picking up on the good ones and incorporating them in, and we all putting our shoulder to the wheel, then we're going to see this turn the corner, and a lot of these shootings and crime and violence will begin to reduce itself. This has happened. This happened in other cities. I heard on the radio this morning that New York City, as a result of their jump out and stop and frisk and all that Mayor Bloomberg has implemented to get a handle on crime in New York City. They said that crime, violent crime, and homicides and shootings had been reduced 68%. I heard that on the radio this morning. 68%. Other cities, other mayors working together with the police departments with good strategies and the community helping, they too, in other cities, have reduced the problem drastically. It's said that Philadelphia has drastically reduced a lot of its violence up there. Commissioner Ramsey, the chief of police up in Philadelphia, is on. He cut a public service announcement on WDAS. I hear it about every 15 minutes on WDAS. It's Chief Ramsey asking for the community to please join in and help stop the crime and violent crime in Philadelphia. And he makes a real good pitch about it in a very short public service announcement. That's Chief Ramsey of the Philadelphia Police Department, running every 15 minutes on a public service announcement, WDAS, all over Philadelphia, and in the areas that comes in Wilmington and all over. These are the kind of things that we need to incorporate in our strategy. I would hope that a suggestion that I have in asking the pastors and the clergy to make public service announcements, asking our residents, asking the congregations of their churches to get involved, protect themselves, do it from a safe distance. But that's one way that our local clergy can be helpful, if they would be willing to do that. And I pray they will. And I'm going to be sharing that. Another way, an idea that I have, is for Mayor Dennis P. Williams to bring back the community police board that we had back under the days of Mayor James H. Seals Jr., when he was our first black mayor. I'm not asking Dennis to step in Jim Seals' footprint or try to be Jim Seals. He's not Jim Seals. That's irresponsible rhetoric to what I'm saying. The reason we need to bring it back, that community police board that we had was headed up by Miss Barbara Washam down on 14th and Walnut. She was our chairperson. And I was on the board, and it was residents from Northeast, South, and West, young and old, black and white, representing their communities. And this board would meet semi-monthly right down in the McLaughlin Police Building, 4th and Walnut. And we would deal with things in our communities or ideas that we had as residents or leadership that we felt would make a better policing opportunity to handle and reduce the crime in our communities. And it went over very well, very well. And the police would share with us problems that they were having in various communities. And there are some people, maybe if somebody could talk to Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so, because when we come in that area, they tend to be inflaming and interfering and almost inciting a riot against the police. We need help with that. And we have names that people can talk to that may help them to better understand to not do that. Allow us to do our police work. So good things came out of this community police board that I'm talking about that we had back when. This board fell apart under the previous mayor, Mayor Baker. He didn't see the wisdom or nobody called it to his attention to keep it going. So it fell apart over the last 12 years. I pray that Mayor Dennis P. Williams will take it under serious consideration and redesign that board, that we as citizens and leadership and clergy, people of all ethnic groups, can be a part of that board appointed by the mayor to sit and to work with our police department semi-monthly. When there was time of crisis, the chief and the mayor would talk to Barbara Washam, and we would have a called meeting at the wheel of that crisis to see how we could help. This is what I'm talking about, friends. And God knows I'm not saying that I have all the answers. That's not what I'm saying. But having been around, a part of the leadership for a long time, and having been a part of a lot of these things, my friends, the experience that I've had, I know they work. I know they work. And I ask you all out there in TV land under the sound of my voice to send up some very powerful and regular prayers that we will be able to do these things and implement them and encourage through our clergy, doing public service announcements and talking to their congregations, big church, medium-sized church, small church preacher. We need every one of them. They're all equally as important. No big I's, little U's. Let's lay the titles that's outside the door when we come to meet. And let's sit in there as concerned citizens, some with more experience maybe than others, dealing with the particular issue. But let's lay the titles outside the door. Again, no big I's, little U's. And let's all come on a common ground. Let's all stand there respectful to one another. And we may not agree with something that comes out of the mouth of this one or that one. That's all right. But let's not pick apart or fight about it in the meeting. Express why you don't think it may be a good idea, we should do it. Let's kind of get a feel for the group. And from there, let's move on and a decision be made as to what do we do at the end of the meeting. What's good that came out of it? Where do we go from here? That's the kind of meetings I'm talking about having. Not the same old meetings that people come to like I had at Ezine Fair and expect to want, and I talked about this on the radio on WDEL, 2 different days when I was promoting and pumping this meeting up. And I did this on a moment's notice after talking to Pastor Carey. And he agreed at 7 in the morning. Apologize. Pastor, I hope I'm not waking you up. No, I'm already up. What can I do for you, Brother Holloway? I'd like to know if it might be space available that I can hold. This was Tuesday morning. That I can announce and pump and push up on a meeting, get the word around, a meeting to deal with a billboard campaign and talk about the shootings and violence. He said, you got it. You can have it at Ezine Fair. I'll accommodate however I must. What do you need? I got off the phone with him and I immediately called about 7:15. I called in to WDEL and I asked for the newsroom. And I asked them, would they please announce every opportunity they could, a meeting I'm having against the shooting and violence and a billboard campaign that Ed and I had worked on and worked up. And I really want to have this meeting to move this issue off of Dead Center from where the community sat, from where the community's leadership sat. Let's get involved publicly. I want to move it off Dead Center. And they said, yes, we'll be glad to do it. Want to talk to you after. But let me ask you, is it okay I call you back? You know Mayor Dennis Williams goes on at 7:30 every Tuesday. And I said, yes. I said, I'm waiting to hear him. And they said, what if you think I bring you on live right in back of Mayor Williams? And I said, fine. And they did that. Mayor Williams talked about more aggressive measures, some things that he couldn't get into he's going to be doing and whatnot. And he made a real strong pitch for trying to do it as calm and nice as he could, respectful. But he's got to get more aggressive, and some people are going to be complaining, and he wants the community to understand he needs them to stand behind him and the police department. He's got to get more aggressive on this violent crime in our community. And after he went off, she said, we have Herman Holloway Jr., former state representative, whatever she said, online with us. Representative Holloway, are you there? I said, yes, I am. She said, did you hear the mayor? I said, in its entirety. And she said, what do you think about what he said? I said, I agree with him wholeheartedly, and I support him wholeheartedly. And she said, tell us about your poster. And it went on, and then she started talking about different issues and must have kept me for a good 10 minutes on the radio. Then they started running inserts of it, my comments and the mayor's comments. And all that helped pump up, because at the end of every bit of it, they were talking about my meeting at 6:30 at Ezine Fair. And it worked out to be a very good and positive meeting. I wanted to share with people that would come to the meeting the billboard poster campaign and some other things, just as I just shared with you, that I hope we'll be able to kick in it. Great ideas far and above anything that I'm thinking. And that we're going to really do some things to support our police department, some good things that we're going to do to support our mayor as he gets more aggressive on this issue. And we're going to find ourselves turning the corner and reducing crime, working together. Only working in unity, working together in the city of Wilmington as they're doing in other urban cities across this country. I want to welcome on board the 25 new police recruits that were sworn in on Friday. And I welcome them. I pray they be safe, as I do all law enforcement, as they're out there trying to protect us, we the citizens. We've got to stand by them. I hope that through the course of their training, the new recruits, and that is constantly reiterated with the officers that have been on the force, some newer than they, but some have been on for a few years, and those that have been around for a while. Good public relations to be thought about in communities should be top priority other than a time of emergency. The community policing concept and the manner in which you bring that as police officers to our community makes all the difference in the world. Officer Crawford, as the public relations officer, is doing a fine job. And again, if the police department, Wilmington's finest, will allow Officer Crawford and those that are encouraging them to go to the Wilmington community, sensitive to the criticism of some of the police activity. If you go in the right respect, remain respectful, don't fly hot, don't just say something to somebody because they're emotionally upset over a shooting at a crime scene. Try to think a little bit. Pray for them, because the least little thing at a time of all that emotions can get a riot started in this city like we had back during the times of the death of Martin Luther King. And we don't need it. We need to be on one accord, united together, addressing this issue that we're all so very much concerned about. Some people are actually afraid, and rightfully so. There are some of us that aren't afraid. We're cautious, but not afraid. Some people are afraid and will not be caught out after dusk. And the sad part about that, even right now, is these shootings and some of this stuff is happening during the daytime. People getting robbed, stuck up, shootouts. Problems, my friends, problems that only we the people, putting God first and working in unity, can solve. I want to take a short break. If I can, I'm going to come back and close. Give me Ed Osborne if you got that going on. If you can't kick that in, that was the last one we did. If that's going to be a problem, then I'll stay here and talk and going on off there. Can you hook me up, Ivan? Give me Ed. Be right back.
Osborne's Auto Repair, serving downtown Wilmington for 30 years. Delaware State certified in auto emissions. We do tune-ups, brakes, air conditioning, all car needs. Stop in and see Ed Osborne or his son, Ed Osborne Jr. That's Osborne's Auto Repair, 658-0377, or visit us on the web at osbornesauto.com. Stop in and see Osborne's.
Finally, let me just ask that you tune in to WDEL every day, 1150 on the AM dial, WDEL. They're all over the place collecting news in our community. They're sharing the news accounts, and they're educating our community, helping you understand the real issues. And then you can participate in the dialogue on WDEL on the talk shows that follow. Okay, having said that, they're telling me I'm about out of time. So again, God bless the family of Mrs.Wilda Hutt, and let's keep them all in prayer. God bless you.